Hey guys, it's Brian again. Today I want to talk about the do's and don'ts of using hard and soft brushes in your digital art. So as you can see here, I'm using a soft brush over soft edges along this arm, over the body in the background. As you can see, it really separates those edges. You got to make a distinction between not only your values, like your color and your values, but also your hard turning and soft turning edges. And I'll give you an example of that. Like in shadow, like right here, you're not really going to have a lot of hard edges. You know, if it's all in the shadow, it's mostly going to be softer edges. So always be aware of that. Usually things that are in light are usually the things that have harder edges. And in shadow, it's the opposite. You'll have soft edges. I'm going to give you a few examples with this little illustration right here. We're going to just draw a simple nose, because a nose is a great example of where you're going to get soft and hard edges and why you have to get them right. So right here, I'm only going with a soft brush, and you see a lot of artists using a soft brush, and you can just tell, like, they won't, I don't know why, they just will not use a hard brush usually, and you can tell, and it just looks too soft and it looks unfinished. So right here, I kind of have this soft brush all the way up, and a lot of times artists will use a brush that with in lower opacity, but I'm giving you an example of even a brush, a soft brush with the opacity all the way up. It is still too soft, so I'm adding a little bit of light from the right side with a soft brush. Right now, I'm also going to add a highlight. Right, remember what I talked about with your highlights, things in light. Usually they're going to get hard edges, right? Depending on the curve or the planes. Now I'm putting this highlight in with a soft edge brush, right? It's all soft edge brush. And so, but look how soft that looks. Like there's not really a lot of form. There's not really a lot of depth in this. So now I'm gonna pick a hard brush, and I'm just gonna add some depth now to this piece. It's a hard and soft brush. They're always gonna work in harmony, and you can go over later these hard edges if you want, whether if it's with a smudge brush or it's with a softer brush, and you can just soften those hard edges. You know what I mean? Like we're painters. You know what I mean? We got to learn how to use our brushes to our advantage. Now I'm gonna erase this, and I'm gonna add the highlight with a hard edge brush. This is a hard brush. I'm going to add the highlight. Look how much more depth that brings, how much more life that brings to that illustration. You're always going to want to use the soft brushes for usually the shadows and the slow turning edges. And I'm going to give you an example of what slow and fast turning edges are. You know, you have to know the form before you're going to render it, before you're going to light it accurately. Here I am just kind of blending out that hard edge shadow with the soft edge. So right here, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about and what I mean by form. You see that slow turning edge? There's that hard edge, that line that goes all the way down the nose. That's a hard edge because it's a hard turning form, right? But for the rest of the nose facing the light, that's a soft turning form. So you're gonna add slight shadows, a soft gradient with that hard and soft brush. Now here's another example of what I mean by a soft form turn and a hard form turn. You see the soft form turn right there. See that gradient? It's a slow turning form. Now when you get that hard form turn on the right here on that finger, that's a very abrupt plane turn, right? It's a very quick hard form turn. It's a fast form turn. So you need to know why you would use hard brushes versus the soft brush. If you use the soft brush on that hand, it would be way too soft. Another example is you have to, again, it's all about the light source and where it's coming from. So hard planes right there, that's a sharp turn. You're only going to use a hard brush for that. You might have to soften up that hard edge depending on that bevel of that that lid right there. But even like a hard edge right here on this table edge, that's going to always be a sharp turn. You know, it's always going to be a hard brush. So be aware of that. Never use a soft brush for a hard plane turn like that. So I'm using this skeleton. It's a great example of both soft gradients and hard edges. Like right here at that eye socket, that's a very hard turn, right? It's a hard, fast turn. So you're always going to use a hard brush for that hard edge. Another example is this, you know, around the orbital like bone right there. That is a very hard turn. So you're going to use a hard edge because there's, you know, all of a sudden shadow and then light. And then a soft edge on the top of the forehead right here of the skull. That's a soft gradient. You wouldn't use any hard brushes there. So I just want to go over these terms. You know, a hard edge, that's you know, a hard brush. It's a fast form turn, and in the soft edges, that's a slow form turn. You're always gonna have that slow gradient, right? And changes in value from light to dark. A soft edge is a slow form turn. A hard edge is a fast form turn. As always, you'll render the slow turning form with a soft brush and a fast turning form with a hard brush. Don't be afraid of the hard brush, but never solely rely on the soft brush either. They need to work together in harmony. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you understand both soft and hard brushes a lot more. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.